Hello students, we are beginning with the lecture number 2. It is mainly about the sexual reproduction in organisms. Before that, I would like to give you 3 questions which will be covered in the previous lecture's homework. These 3 questions in the exercises given at the back of the textbook. The first one: why is reproduction essential for organisms? Second, which is a better mode of reproduction, sexual or asexual? Why is the offspring formed by sexual reproduction referred to as a clone? These 3 questions will be covered in the first lecture. I want you to make the answers for it. That will be your homework. So if you have listened to the first lecture carefully, you should be able to do these 3 questions. Let us continue with our studies. Two small topics are left out in the asexual reproduction. We will cover that first and then begin with our today's topic, that is sexual reproduction. We will take example of water hyacinth. This is the terror of Bengal, commonly called, and in Gujarati it is known as Jalkumbi. It is a very dominant species. It is not usually found in India, but it was introduced in India for its lovely flowers and shape of leaves. How does it spreads? How does it reproduces? It reproduces asexually. It spreads on the water surface quickly by vegetative propagation, and it imposed an danger to the species living inside the water bodies, depleting the oxygen which would not be available easily for the other living organisms. Now we will see some examples of plants which reproduce by vegetative propagation. What is a vegetative propagation? It is in the plants a method of asexual reproduction which takes place naturally. Remember, the new potato plants can grow from eyes of the potato. The eyes which are growing on the potato, you scoop them and put it in the ground. They will start growing into new plants. Likewise, vegetative propagation is also found in banana and ginger. New banana and ginger plants grow from the rhizomes. This terminology, the eyes of the potato, rhizomes, have been covered in 11th standard, if you remember. The nodes present in this modified stems. Again, modification of stem we have done in 11th standard. These modified stems give rise to the new plants. How this is possible? When nodes come in contact with the wet soil, roots start growing. From there a new plant arises. In 10th standard, do you remember? You had the example of bryophyllum plant, which in its leaf margin would have small baby plants growing, and wherever the leaf margin or the tip would touch the ground, a new plant would start growing. Now, in nature, vegetative propagation takes place in many of the plants, and hence gardeners and farmers use this asexual form of reproduction to get maximum production so they can earn a lot of money. Now, what type of organisms will reproduce asexually? Those organisms which are having very simple body structure will usually reproduce by asexual method. What is the example? Algae and fungi. Now, let me bring to your notice one important thing, that these asexually reproducing organisms sometimes reproduce by sexual methods. In what type of condition they will do such unusual thing? When they are facing some harsh condition or stressful condition, they will make spores. So these spores will remain inactive for a very long time and the organism does not dies. Now what is happening to the spores? They will remain as they are inactive, dormant, and the harsh stressful condition passes off. Now when good conditions, that is the favorable conditions other again come back, they means the spores start sprouting and give rise to entire new organism. So this is the sexual reproduction done by the asexually reproducing organisms, sometimes in order to overcome harsh, stressful, difficult condition. Now, asexual as well as sexual modes of reproduction are exhibited by higher plants. Most of the animals show sexual mode of reproduction. Here we have completed the topic of asexual reproduction. Now we are coming to the our today's topic, that is sexual mode of reproduction. So as we are doing every time, I will define what is sexual reproduction. It involves making of female and male gametes. In easier words, what do we call the gametes? The sex cells. What are sex cells? If you are considering the human male, then the sperm are the sex cells, and in the female, the ovum is the female sex cells. And what are the sex cells? Actually, they are known as, the correct biological terminology, gametes. Can we go ahead now? If we have given a small definition of today's topic. Now, listen very carefully. These gametes or the sex cells may be produced by a single individual, means male sex cells and female sex cells produced by a single individual. Now try to recall the 11th standard earthworm. Both the sex cells are produced by a single individual. So during fertilization, two earthworms come near each other and exchange the sperms because they are hermaphrodite. If you take a single earthworm, it is having the male organs also and the female organs also. Now, in some of the organisms, the male and the female gametes are produced by different individuals. So, this type of animals will have a separate male individual and separate female individual. Both the organs are not found in one individual naturally. So, students, in those animals where both the male and female organs are found in one animal naturally, in them it is not considered as an abnormality. They are normally made like that. So, hermaphroditism is natural in them. Now let us go ahead. The gametes or the sex cells that are made, they fuse together to form a zygote. Let me tell you some of the highlights of the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a long process, time consuming, it is slow and it is a complex process. Now, why it is like this? The young one, it takes time to grow and attain sexual maturity. The young one is spending a lot of time in taking sexual maturity. See, in the beginning of this chapter, I had discussed about the lifespan, and you had seen the lifespan of different animals and plants is different. So, if the lifespan of a dog is 15 years, so naturally within 2 to 3 years it attains sexual maturity and is capable of reproducing. Now, if you can compare this with the human beings whose average lifespan is 100 years, so the animal is taking nearly 17 to 18 years of the beginning life to attain sexual maturity. Now, this is the difference, that according to the lifespan, the animals will spend time as a young one, taking time to attain sexual maturity. If you have understood this much, can we go ahead? Because of fusion of male and female gametes, sexual reproduction results in offsprings which are not identical to the parents. Have you understood this? See, what I mean is, when the young one is born, due to the sexual reproduction, the young one is not resembling any one parent exactly. It is a mixture of both. Some characters are like one parent and some characters are like the other parent. The young one is not totally like any one parent. Now, the parents may have 4-5 offsprings, and those offsprings among themselves, they are also not exactly like one another. See, the brothers, sisters together, they are also so much different. They are not exactly copies of one another also, and they are also not copies of their parents also. So, what is the moral of this? That the young ones are having mixed characters of both the parents. This is an important feature of sexual reproduction. All the plants and animals differ in external morphology and internal structure. Now, this we had seen about the special highlights of sexual reproduction. Coming to some another point, see, all the plants and animals will be different in external morphology and internal structure also. But one important thing is, all have a particular pattern when it comes to sexual mode of reproduction. All of them. The gametes that are produced in a particular way, they are transferred from one organism to another. Fertilization takes place, and the young one is growing, passing through some phases. All of these stages are somewhat similar in the plants or the animals. Same means, I want to say that they are following a particular pattern. Now, what is that pattern? Let us see that. All organisms have to reach a certain stage of growth. Suddenly they are not going to start reproducing from the very beginning. They have to attain sexual maturity. Remember, I had told you that organisms which are going to reproduce by sexual method of reproduction are going to grow slowly. They are going to pass through a stage before they start reproducing. This phase before they start reproducing is known as juvenile phase. In plants, that is known as vegetative phase. See, recall that 11th standard. What is vegetative organs? Root, stem and leaves are vegetative organs. So it means that In vegetative phase, the plants are going to develop root, stem, leaves, and that is comparable to the animals, in which it is called the juvenile phase. The plant is completely making all the things, root, stem, leaves, and growing. After that, it will start producing the flowers, and this is the reproductive phase. Then fertilization will take place and the fruits will be formed. So whether it is the plants or the animals, there will be a particular phase till they grow all the organs completely and properly. Then they start producing reproduction. Now, when this stage or the phase is complete, reproductive phase will start. In plants, we will say that the plants have come in flowering phase. Flowering phase means it will have flowers. This is also a very lengthy process, and each and every plant is having different time period to grow the flowers, start having the flowers. Let us compare some of the plants over here. Marigold, Golgota. It will start having flowers after 8 weeks. Rice plant. After 2 to 3 months, the vegetative organs are completely developed. It will start having flowers. See, the flowers are made, then fertilization takes place, and then the fruits will be made. Wheat plant, it takes 7 to 8 months before it will start developing flowers. Coconut, after 1 year. So here also, this is a generalization. It means that the variety is different. Some time period would be different. It would be having a little bit of few months here and there. Mango tree, it would take nearly 3 to 6 years to completely grow all the parts and then start producing flowers. So once you have planted a mango seed, it will start sprouting, it will start growing. So minimum 3 years it will take to complete its growth as a tree. Maximum 6 years. So before that you will not have flowers and fruits in a mango tree. It is going to spend time 3 to 6 years to grow completely, and after that it will have flowers. Now I will take example of the mango. If it is having the flowers, then after the flowers fertilization takes place, and when the small fruits are formed, to grow completely big fruit, that also it takes nearly 100 days to 120 days to grow from small fruit to the bigger fruit. Now a little bit the topic is subtopic is changing over here. So start afresh. In some plants, flowering occurs more than once. Now, what is this? As the plant changes, the time that the flowering occurs in them would be different. So, in some plants, flowering occurs more than one time. And now if it is a tree, a mango tree, then if it is completed its growth in 3 to 6 years, it will flower each year. Understood? So flowering in 1 year, the flowering that is taking place in the next year, so that is known as a juvenile period for mango tree, because between two flowering seasons in a mango tree, it is going to have plenty of energy and nutrient for itself before it will start reproducing. Correct? Now, this is a little bit of 11th standard. We have covered it, but let us go through it. We will see the types of plant which are based on its lifespan. Do you remember the annuals, biennials, and the perennials? Let me brush that up. We'll recall it. Start afresh a little bit. A plant that lives for more than 2 years is called perennial. After flowering, it is not going to start aging. Why? Because it has to flower the next season also. This is interflowering phase. This is known as a juvenile phase, as I have told you before. It is regaining its nutrition and energy. See, this is taking place in the animals also. Once they have had the young ones, after a gap, they can reproduce again. So during the two, they can have regain all the nutrition and energy before they start reproducing again. Some of the plants, which are going to grow only for a single season or 2 seasons, in that time, once they flower and have fruits, they die. Their life is over. Why? Because the lifespan is that much. Now, all trees have different time in the year when they can bear flowers. For example, apple trees bear fruits in September to October. So what are these examples we are taking? That the flowers that are coming in the year, the whole year. So that time all the plants or the trees are having a particular season while they will have the flowers and fruits. So mango trees will have fruits in summer. When the fruits are coming in summer, it means that the flowers will come 3 months before in the mango tree. Fertilization will take place. Small fruits are produced and they will become very big in summer, and finally you will have the crop in summer. Understood? All trees are having different season during the year where they will have the fruits. And when they will have the fruits, before that they will have the flowers, then they will have the fruits. So this was about the perennial trees and the plants. Now let us talk about the plants which are having a different type of lifespan, that is an annual plant. What is an annual plant? It is a plant that completes its life cycle in one growing season, then they die. That is, they live for 1 year. It grows from the seed, starts flowering, means have the flowers, produces seeds, and then they die again in one season. So the seeds that you have collected, you can use it as a food, and some of the seeds you can keep it to make plants the next season in the next year. Understood? What are the examples of that? Peas, watana, and maize. Correct? Now, we had talked about the perennial trees, that is the mango and apple, which is living for many years. Then we have talked about annuals, which are living in one season, and the third variety. Is it clear? What is the third variety? The biennials. They live for 2 years. How? They grow in the first year, produce flowers and seeds in the next year. Correct? What are the examples of that? Carrots, cabbage, cauliflower. While perennials live for 3 or more years. Gulmohar, the pretty orange flowers that you have during the summer, hibiscus, jasud, and the apple. Now, a little bit of topic is changing, subtopic. Annual and biennial plants, that is, annual and biennial means what? Annual means the plants growing in one season only, 1 year. Biennial means living for 2 years. Show clear stages of vegetative, reproductive, and senescence. These annuals and biennials living for 1 year and 2 year, they are going to complete their life in 1 year or 2 year, and aging takes place on the whole parts, all the parts of the plant at a time. Whole plant dies off, completes, and it is over. But about the perennials which are living for more than 3 years, aging does not take place in all the parts of the plant at a time. Some of the branches, some of the leaves, they become old and they are falling off the tree. Correct? This is the difference. So here we have completed discussing about the plants according to their lifespan. Summing up, I'll tell you. The annuals living for 1 year, biennials living for 2 years, and perennials living for many years. Correct? Can we shift to a little bit of different subtopic? Correct? Now, here we are going to take few of the examples which are important from exam point of view, MCQ, and NEET. A few plants show strange flowering phenomena. When does the flowering takes place? See, one example given in the textbook is about bamboo. Flower only once in their lifetime. Just imagine, they are going to reproduce only once in their life, generally 50 to 100 years. When they have flowers, then they die. After flowering once, they will not have next season. That is, see, after such a long lifespan, it is going to reproduce again. Another plant is Strobilenthus kunthiania. It is also known locally as Nilakuranji. It flowers once in 12 years. This plant flowers during September to October in 2006, and they are found in Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, and the hills were covered with the beautiful, lovely flowers with purplish blue flowers, and that time it attracted many tourists to that place in order to have a look at this amazing phenomena, that how the trees are covered with purple blue flowers, the hills are covered because the hills were having these trees. So these two examples we are having about the unusual flowering taking place in bamboo and Nilakurinji. It is easy to remember these two examples. The bamboo is going to have flowers in one time during 50 to 100 years, and Nilakurinji every 12 years. So once they had flowered in the year 2006. So now after 12 years again these flowers will come in those areas of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So tourists are going to come over there again after 12 years. That is, calculate 12 years after 2006. Correct? Now, and again it is going to repeat 12 years every time. From these plants we are going to now come to the animals. Now let us talk about the birds. Birds lay eggs seasonally, but for the commercial production in poultry farm, birds are in captivity in cages. They lay eggs all the year round. The eggs are collected, separated out for eating purpose, and some are separated out for hatching. Now, from the birds, let us come to a little bit higher animals, that is the mammalian females. They show cyclic changes in activity of the ovaries. Ovaries are growing, they will produce the eggs, and now again 11th standard we had done the chapter of the hormones. So the activity of the reproductive cycle is under the control of the hormones, correct? So you should have the proper knowledge of that chapter. So here there would be, depending upon this, we will have two type of cycle, estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. Now children, listen very carefully. We are talking about higher animals, that is the mammals, but we are talking about how the ovary is going to function. Listen very carefully please. It is the estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle. Estrous cycle is shown by cow, sheep, rat, deer, dogs and tiger. It is in favorable season and they are in reproductive phase. It means they are seasonal breeders. In them, endometrium. Now what is an endometrium? The inner lining of the uterus. When the egg is not fertilized in them, then the endometrium is reabsorbed inside the body, and those animals, they are said to have estrous cycle. Now we will talk about the animals which are having menstrual cycle. So these animals having the menstrual cycle will shed the endometrium. Again, see, I have told you, you should be very strong in all the terminology. What is an endometrium? Endometrium is the inner lining of the uterus. In these animals which are having the menstrual cycle, the endometrium breaks down and along with some blood it is thrown out of the body, which is known as menstruation. So I hope this is clear. The estrous cycle, in which